All right, let me kick it off. Yeah, I only have one today. I couldn't think of anything else, but it's not
Okay.
related to the webinar. All right, civil. You get a civil commitment, either officer initiated or court ordered civil commitment (EP). We call them here in Maryland. Boom, you grab the guy, girl. You put them in custody. You take them to the hospital. You drop them off the hospital. You transfer the custody to the hospital. They take the paperwork. All right, good to go. 2 hours later, hospital calls. Hey, the person you brought in for the civil commitment, they ran out the hospital. Can you come get them? Can you go out and get them?
hmm
Um, that's happened here before. The hospital called us like, hey, the person you brought in for an EP, they ran out.
Yep.
Like, can you go get them and bring them back? Question is like, are we okay going back and searching for this person and bringing them back to the hospital, or are we violating that person's Fourth Amendment rights because they don't want to be at the hospital? They're like fuck this. I want to be free.
Yeah. In Las Vegas, we'd arrest him for jaywalking, but let me hear what John has to say. John, what do you think?
So this is tough, right? Because we went and we got a judicial order that says you will take this person and take them to this facility, right? I mean, that's what we're talking about. So we went through the established process, whatever it was. We took them to the facility, we dropped them off. And so ultimately the question is how far, I mean, how much longer does that authority extend, right? I mean, we did it, we fulfilled it. That's not going to be in any kind of a system anymore. If an officer stops them once they're released, it shouldn't still be showing that there's a valid commitment order, right? And so I
But,
think
but they do the Emmanuel in Maryland. Do you have to get these judicial orders like agreed by the judge, or is this all warrantless done by the officer and you just drop them off the hospital and they evaluate it?
Either on scene, we're there, get a call for an EP, and we have reason to believe that okay, yeah, this person needs to be committed, or we do receive them from the court and they're court ordered. So either or, it could be like deputy initiated or
Right, right. It
court
can be
ordered. Yep.
warrantless or with that order. Okay. Okay, so John, you see a little bit of an issue because you don't have that order.
right.
Um,
And I think that we need to be careful of these things, right? Because like what you're talking about, Emmanuel, is in Arizona, we went to this thing where you could just go on and you could fill it out and say, yeah, they're talking crazy. It doesn't have to go through judicial process, and then the person who ultimately signs off on it and authorizes it, I mean, they worked at a mental health facility. They weren't necessarily a nurse, they weren't necessarily a doctor, and so I see a whole lot of abuse for that. And ultimately, if something does go wrong with you going out and getting this person again, the liability is going to be on you. So if you guys are going through the process where you're saying, hey, like I can do it myself and I can go out and I can fill out the paperwork and I can get it authorized,
hmm,
if that's the realm in which you're operating and you guys have done that, well, then you have a basis for doing it. So do it again.
what do you think, Zach? No, rookie move over here, Zach.
Yeah, sorry. It's an arrest. I mean, definitely for Fourth Amendment purposes. And I mean, I can speak to Virginia. It sounds like we're about the same as Maryland. You can do the warrantless. The officer has to have reasonable cause to believe, you need those services. Or it can be issued. Ours are issued by magistrates or judges. So I think it's effectively like an arrest. And if he's, as long as that order is still in
Valid.
place,
Mhm.
valid, yeah. I think we can go seize him and bring him back.
Yeah, look,
Involuntary.
yeah, involuntary. Look, I agree. I definitely agree with John that these are abused. They're abused. I've seen so many
Oh yeah.
abuses. In fact, I talk
Yeah.
about it. It's some disgusting abuses of this, and some cops just like falling for it, like real, like just pure accusations about from a boyfriend against his girlfriend. The girlfriend's totally fine. She's like, yeah, I said some stupid stuff earlier today, but I'm fine. You're still going to be civilly committed. I don't like that shit, but at the end of the day, though, I mean, the way I look at this is that you have in Maryland, look, we're not Maryland attorneys, okay, but you do have this mechanism for a warrantless civil commitment, and you also have a court order, and you have this person running out of the hospital that clearly the doctor is telling you that I have not cleared them yet. So you have probable cause that they are still a danger to themselves or others, at least, right? Because it was already this initial seizure was lawful. And so to me, when you recapture that person, even if it's not under the guise of the court order, to me, it's that statute that allows a civil commitment without a warrant, because you have facts or circumstances that lead you to believe that they are still a danger to themselves or others, right? And so they haven't been cleared. You know, the doctor's like, yeah, she's fine, but can you bring her back here? She forgot her purse. I mean, that's the way I look at it. Right? I mean, isn't that the way to look at this? Like at the end of the day, the government still has the authority to seize this person until they've been cleared because of this, right?
Yeah.
What am I missing here? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. So look, I see somebody talking about how it happens all the time, and the security doesn't want to put hands on these people, and they want you to do all the dirty work, and then we're gonna be back in 10 minutes because they still will run out the damn hospital, and security will not do anything. I guess that's a different issue, right? I mean, maybe that's a conversation you got to have. Like, what are you doing to keep these people inside the four walls of the hospital? But as far as the authority goes, I don't see if the statute is written the way I think it's written, I don't know how we have an issue. Emmanuel?
Yeah, I mean, like my thought process is like of course, I have to agree with you gentlemen. It is very abused. We see it all the time. Here, even like some EPs we get that are court ordered, and I read like the reasonable belief, and I'm like, are you serious?
I know, but a judge signed
Are
off on
you?
it.
And
I
the
know.
judge signs on it. That's my like. I was just like concerned, like because that I'm more thinking about the liability of it. Like, all right, the hospital clearly didn't have custody of this guy, and was not taking accountability of this person. They were able to run out the hospital, and God knows where they're at now.
Mhm.
Um, and then let's say we go hands on, we get into on use of force, and then now the optics are on us. Like, well, wait a minute, like. Yeah, they're gonna blame us no matter what. It doesn't matter if the hospital
Yeah, but I
nearly
mean,
like free.
but are the optics really that bad? I mean, at the end of the day, if you if you see an other issue, if you're reading this thing, you're like, I don't think this, I think this is all BS. I think this is all Trump, made up. Then maybe you can pass it on to the shoulders of your three striper, make the sergeant of the LT make the decision. But if you think I mean, let's look at a legitimate case. You got a person who has a mental illness, who has been signed off, who's a danger to themselves or others. It meets the statutory definition of mental crisis, right, in Maryland. And all they have to do is escape the arms of the doctor in the hospital, and they're free to go. And now they don't get the treatment that the law allows. I mean, I'm not. The system might be broken overall, but I just don't know how that is the loophole in this. Right? They can just escape the hospital, and they don't get their 48-hour hold or whatever it is in Maryland. I'm sorry, that doesn't make any sense to me. Otherwise, what, every time they escape, you got to get another court order? I think when the doctor called you and said this person left without a consent or without authority, they're telling you we are not done evaluating them. That's how I look at it, which means that you
Right,
have
right,
probable
right.
cause that they are the dangers to themselves or others. So anyway, it's a good
And I
question.
agree.
Yeah, and it's not our
Yeah,
expertise, but Fourth Amendment, it is an arrest. It's an arrest in a sense that their freedom is taken away by the state, and it's a probable cause level of danger to themselves or others. And if we have that, then to me, it's a good detention to bring them back.
all right. Sounds good,
Yeah,
man. I appreciate it. Thank you so
yeah,
much.
absolutely.